centers that are still active, please visit recovery.lacounty.gov or call the debris hotline at 844-347-3332. If you're vulnerable to mudslides with rain in the forecast, free sandbags are being offered. Go to lacounty.pw/sandbags to find out where to get them. Businesses who have lost their facilities due to the fires can use a regional online source to get free or discounted locations. Whether you're interested in donating or finding space, you can visit the Business to Business Space Share portal at spaceshare.lacounty.gov. Additional LA County small business support and programs can be found at opportunity.lacounty.gov. Praying, advocating, and standing with you. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. So excited to welcome into the studio an award-winning producer. She's got an extensive background in film and TV production with producer credits, 25 films and multiple TV series. Her work can be seen on Viacom, BET, MTV, Universal, TV One, Bounce TV, All Black, and more. She is the president of Greenlight Women. Kimberly Ogletree, welcome.
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Great to see you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So let's start with the basic. Talk about what Greenlight Women even is.
Okay, well, Greenlight Women is an organization that champions the voices of women 40 and over in entertainment and media, and they advocate for a collaborative, diverse, inclusive, equitable, and sustainable industry.
So it's getting anything done by women in the industry of entertainment, Hollywood, whatever. It's very hard. Even though you say, well, we see women everywhere. Maybe you say that. But as a woman working in the space, it's not easy to get anything done, period, full stop, right?
No, it's not easy at all. I mean, first you have to find the sponsors.
Right.
Or the investors, which is a hard road.
Yeah. So that's for any woman across the board. Now, you talk about over 40, over 23 and a half. No, over 40
right.
in Hollywood. That's a whole other story. The ageism is really real, and it starts pretty young because 40 is not that old.
No, 40 is not that old, but every woman, I think, regardless of what industry that they are in, they hear that at 40, you age out.
Yeah.
So what does that really mean for a woman at 40 when you're really at your prime?
Yeah.
Right? So you have to take a look and say to yourself, am I going to stay where I am or am I going to pivot? And if I'm going to pivot, how am I going to pivot? And when is the right time to do that? Is it 40? Is it 50? Can I get to 50? And Greenlight Women stands for that. We champion those voices 40 and over because we know at 40, you're going to get that, you're kind of sort of aged out, even when inside of a demographic state. I teach at the New York Film Academy as well. I teach producing. So I talk to my students sometimes and I say, I've aged out. So bring me forward. Help me understand this, okay? And they break it down, because it's a Gen Z generation now.
You've aged out, bring me forward. What does that mean? Does it mean reinventing yourself? Does it mean, bringing a lawsuit? Does
No,
mean
it means bring me forward
retiring?
as far as what's hip, what's going on out here. How
I
are
got
you
you.
talking?
Get me up to date.
What
Got you.
What are you saying in a different way?
Right.
Hashtags, emojis, how you communicate out here now is completely different.
Right. But I mean, that's every generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every generation supposedly ages out.
Correct.
Going back to before we even had film and television.
Well, I look at my parents and I say to myself, they must have thought I was crazy when I came up in hip hop. Because
Right.
hip hop I'm a product of hip hop. So as I listen to their music, coming forward with our music, I know they had to say, these kids are crazy. What are they listening to? I don't even understand rap.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is, the trends come and go, but the commodification or objectification of women as having no worth over the age of 40, that's kind of a staple that's been around.
Yes.
Regardless of what the trends are.
100%. I agree. I think that now what Greenlight Women really stands for is paying attention to that curve of when you get to 40. How do you manage? Do you stay where you are? Do you push to remain where you are? Do you sue because you're being pushed out?
Right.
How do you pivot into an area that if you're entering into another chapter in your life, how do you get there?
Right.
And that's what we stand for as far as trying to help and direct women, as well as going to the studios and saying, hey, we're still here.
Right.
We're experienced. There's no substitute for experience, which is our byline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we continue the work?
Yeah.
Men work to the age of 90. You can push them in a wheelchair.
Men be having babies up to the age of 90.
And they're still making movies. They're
Right.
still in the boardrooms. They're still making decisions, but they feel that we can't. And that's a problem.
Is it getting better?
I don't see it getting better.
Really? Interesting.
I don't.
Now, Greenlight Women is not just black women. It's
No.
all women are welcome.
Diverse.
But it is, I said it's hard enough to get anything done as a woman, period, than as a woman over 40. Now, if you add black on top of that, that narrows down the window of opportunity. I'm not trying to be discouraging because I'm one that believes, you just reinvent
Right.
the model and
Right.
just keep it pushing. But
Right.
that's the reality of the numbers in
Right.
Hollywood, right?
I mean, I look at it this way. I think I've survived because I've been able to set goals. So by the time I was 30, I had done over 200 music videos.
Wow.
And
That's
I
crazy.
said to myself, when I went to interview with other companies, they had no idea I was as young as I was. But they felt as though I had my reign. So let someone else have their reign.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, fine. Then I'll go into the independent space and I'll do my own thing and I'll create my own road to get to where I want to go. So I was never really a studio person. I always felt that I walked to my own beat and that I wanted to manage my own destiny. I didn't want someone else managing that for me. But don't get me wrong now. When I did get tired of walking that road, I would go take a full-time job. I've been an executive at BET. I've been an executive for Urban Flicks Entertainment. So, I have been executive.
As a break in between your independent
As a break in between my
that's
independence.
really an interesting way of doing it. But that's a crazy story. 200 music videos by the age of 30. Now they're saying, you've had your day.
Right.
But you're only 30.
Right.
And you were just like, well, then forget you.
Exactly. I was like, I'm done. I'm going to go get myself an office at Sunset Gower Studios. I'm going to start creating content. I'm going to start getting in these rooms and pitching projects and seeing what I can actually bring to my company, Carrot Entertainment.
I mean, that's brave, though, to be
Very much
honest
so.
with you, because, pitching a project unto itself is quite nerve-wracking.
Yes.
And then you're just going to jump out the plane with no parachute and say, I'm going to make this happen. But you made it work.
I had to believe in myself.
Yeah.
My biggest fan was my dad.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, the self-belief is a huge part of it. I think the innovation is a huge part of it, too, being willing to, like you said, make your own road.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So You don't see it getting better. I feel like there's these reports that come out year after year out of UCLA about diversity, and of course, given the current climate with diversity, equity, inclusion, people think that only means black or it only means women, but it also means age.
It means age. And what we need to understand about diversity and DEI and the whole explosion that just happened is that African Americans are at the bottom. They're number 9. They're number 9. So when people see diversity, they think automatically black, but it's not.
But see, I have a problem with that because I think it's become a talking point where black people are saying we're not going to defend DEI because we're number 9. But that number 9 is about jobs.
True.
And there's a lot of other aspects to DEI. There's pots of money for advertising. There's pots of money that support community events. There's money that is in the DEI category that is going to all kinds of different initiatives.
True.
And so, for example, I just found out a really important local festival lost a whole bunch of money and they had to shrink. This is a black festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally know businesses that have lost money. I can add up $1 million already right here locally in LA from DEI initiatives that were withdrawn. So I just think we have to be careful about saying DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion doesn't benefit black people.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't benefit black people. I mean, I've benefited from it.
Right.
Okay. I'm just saying that when we look at it, we see a lot of people see us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's become like a substitute for the N-word now. Yeah.
Ethnicities that come before us, and those pots are still there for us.
Right.
And we did capitalize off of it. Don't get me wrong. We actually did. And now that pot has, basically depleted, we're kind of scrambling.
Yeah.
Where do we go? I mean, we're finding that now with the event that we're doing, our champagne brunch, which is Greenlight Women's champagne brunch that we're doing. And we're finding that with sponsors, how it has dried up. That well is no more.
Yeah. I was talking to another friend who knows a woman who's a model, and her work is way down because she was getting chosen for campaigns that supported the DEI initiatives in various stores. And so I just think, I get what you were saying. I guess I didn't really understand. You were kind of saying like, it's become almost a substitute for black or the N-word, and people aren't realizing.
Right.
Where we started with that, being a person above 30 or above 40, I guess is your criteria, is part of diversity. I mean,
it is.
Because that is something that doesn't automatically happen in business, in corporate America, and especially in Hollywood.
Because now there's no benchmark.
Yeah.
I mean, you are hired now based on qualifications, so they say. So since that has been removed, so they say.
I think one of the reasons I'm laughing is that the president just appointed himself as the chairman of the Kennedy Honors. Yes, just wondering,
Wow.
I'm not trying to get
Washington,
you down
DC.
that. Oh, you are?
No, I'm from D.C., so that resonates with me.
Right. So when you talk about what qualifications do you have to decide to run an institution that houses some of the finest classical music in the world and honors people in every field of the arts?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is a blow for many. Yeah. I'm sure.
Well, for Shonda Rhimes, because she stepped down yesterday.
Yes, I saw
from
that.
the board, and a bunch of other people did.
I saw
but
that.
I digress. I mean, we were talking about DEI, and so when we hear, Greenlight Women is helping women over 40, we might not think of DEI, but that is part of diversity.
Absolutely. I mean, we're a diverse organization, all ethnicities. Our board is extremely diverse now. I'm happy with the board that we have because we have a lot of women that come from various aspects of the entertainment industry, and we're all coming together to try to understand what this advocacy really is. How do we make this, not even make it, but how do we push it forward? Do we get into the room with the executives and say, hey, we're still here? Do we put out an initiative of our own? Do we find allies that we can collaborate with? and how to move this forward. There are a lot of organizations out here that are having the same issue with their members. We're not here to find you a job. That's not what we do. What we do is support you in the avenue that you are actually working inside of. So that's different in itself. So there's some members that come, hey, I'm looking for a manager. I'm looking for an agent. Can you help me find this? Can you help me find that? We're helping you in a way that we have a connections group that works with your resume, that will read your scripts, that will give you insight in how to better it for a table read.
Right.
We have a writers group.
Helping you with what you're already doing and where you already are.
Doing.
I mean, there are other organizations that can help you find a manager, an agent,
Correct.
a job, and there's lots of women's organizations. I don't know that I've heard of one that's supporting the folks that are already inside to be able to thrive, pivot, or fight.
Right.
Yeah. So we continue this conversation. You guys are having a beautiful brunch, which you mentioned, and honoring an exciting and legendary woman in Hollywood. We'll tell you the what, when, where, how, and who when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
I have a dream today.
From slavery and segregation to the Great Migration to our present day rising, the Black experience in America is a story of resilience, achievement, and unstoppable spirit. This February, we're curating amazing conversations celebrating the heroes, the pioneers, and the everyday people who made history. Black History Month on KBLA Talk 1580. Together, we carry the torch forward.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you, and I appreciate the conversation with Kim Ogletree, president of Greenlight Women. And if you're like me and are just finding out about this organization, it's very interesting. Helping women who are already working in the industry, who are over 40. And they could be women of many different backgrounds. You have lots of folks in front of and behind the camera that, okay, you got to stop calling Ms. Ogletree. She's on the radio right now. You have women in front of the camera, behind the camera, producers, actors, writers, all different kinds of women. But you are honoring a woman who definitely has icon status. That's coming up the 23rd in honor of Black History Month. It's a super fancy brunch, a chance to, lunch, I guess, a chance to get dressed up and be fabulous. But talk about who you are honoring and how you chose this great icon.
Well, we will be honoring Jayne Kennedy, who is the first African-American sports anchor in the U.S.
It's so crazy because now you see lots of women like in sports broadcasting, but she really opened that door, didn't she?
She opened the door for so many. We have a board member. Her name is Charlotte Hambrick. She's in the industry because of Jayne Kennedy. She was a role model to her. So we have a lot of women out there that look up to her as far as a sports anchor because we really weren't even behind the desk at that point. And she's revered. I mean, she's iconic. Yeah. I can't wait to actually meet her. I haven't had a conversation with her yet, but I will be soon this week. And what I can say about Jayne is she didn't take any prisoners. She was a woman that was tall, statuesque, commanded the room when she walked in, and knew exactly what she wanted when she arrived.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's also legendarily beautiful, which is a plus and a minus, I would think, in this industry. On the one hand, you know, you want to be on TV. It's nice if you're drop dead gorgeous. On the other hand, it can be perilous to navigate through the Me Too and the pivot, the over 40 pivot.
Correct. Because she was a sports anchor. She was on the field. She was in feature films. She was on television shows. She was a model. Outside of being an actress, she was also doing commercials for various brands. And, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's Jayne Kennedy. You say Jayne Kennedy, a lot of guys, they're like, what? Jayne Kennedy? Really?
Right, yeah.
They're just enamored by her.
Yeah. And like you said, a lot of guys and a lot of broadcasters.
Exactly.
Because I'm in the broadcaster category. And I look up to her because I know that she made it look easy, and it's not easy. And when it comes to broadcast, film and television and radio, of which I've done both, the glass ceiling is real. And if you want to add a little noir onto that, you know, it is even really realer. So I look up to her, and I'm actually really grateful to her because she's one of the ones that kicked the doors open for the rest of us.
Correct. And I'll tell you how we came to Jayne. We're also honoring Regina Jones. Regina Jones has been an iconic figure as well in the community and in the United States of America with her but her newspaper, Soul, which was 60s, 70s, 80s, covering Black music, hip-hop, funk back in the day. So when you look at the covers, and you can Google the covers in Soul Publications, you can go to her website, you'll see how many musical figures she interacted with in their formative years in the business. Everyone from, oh my God, Smokey Robinson, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, you know, it goes on. The list is so extensive. And for her at this point, for us to recognize her at the age of 82 and giving her flowers, I am just so excited that she accepted the Trailblazer Award that we will be giving to her when we see her on the 23rd of February.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think that's one that a lot of us missed. But even if you put it in context, back then, you're talking 1960s through early 80s.
Right.
We didn't have the internet.
No.
We didn't have, you couldn't just Google something.
Correct.
If you didn't pick up a Soul magazine or, whatever, turn on Home Turf or Soul Beat or whatever, you're out of luck.
Exactly.
You're not just going to go look on Instagram or see what's trending on Twitter or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or tap into fan base. You're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So back then it was really about being a journalist in the old-fashioned sense of the word, of running down the person, getting them to agree to the interview, seeking out the background information about that person yourself. The first big interview I did on television was actually in the 80s, and it was Run DMC. And I loved Run DMC, but you couldn't Google them.
No.
I was like, let's see, what cassettes do I have? I'll listen to the cassette tapes that I have. I'll run around and talk to everybody I know. I'll look at what magazines, whether, whatever, Soul Beat or Tiger Beat, whatever they had. I can't even remember.
Right.
Whatever was on the newsstand, because there was no Googling. That's your show prep.
Yes, we were all readers back then.
Right.
You had to pick up a magazine to know exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Right? So when I even look at, Regina Jones has a documentary called Who the Hell is Regina Jones?
Oh, okay. I got to see that.
And it reminded me of myself coming up, because I started out in journalism. I started out as a writer. Then I went into wanting to be an anchor. And I graduated from Howard University.
Yay, Bisons.
Yeah, loved Bisons. And it was 3 of us in my class, actually. And Frederica Whitfield is the only one that actually went forward and did it. Okay. I fell behind the scenes. Pluria Marshall, I don't know if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, do you want to be in front of the camera or you want to be behind the camera? Because, they can pull a story any day. And when you're in front of the camera, do you want to call the shots? And it resonated with me. And I said, you know what? I think I want to be behind the camera.
What? Okay, we're going to continue this fascinating conversation with Kim Ogletree of Greenlight Women when we come forward after news and traffic and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Department of Justice says it will not dismiss charges against a suspect found with weapons near former President Obama's Washington, D.C. home. Taylor Taranto was arrested by the Secret Service in 2023 after firearms, ammunition, and a machete were allegedly found in his van. Police in Evendale, Ohio released body cam footage of a neo-Nazi protest. Protesters held Nazi flags on an overpass, counter-protesters arrived, and police focused on preventing violence. Cardi B criticized President Trump for ruining her designer shoe at the big game and called for her deported uncle's return. She blamed Secret Service for the inconvenience and showed her damaged stiletto heel on Instagram. And the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees are in and includes Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, and Outkast, among others. Fan voting is now open and runs through April 21st. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
If you or someone you know is affected by the Los Angeles wildfires, you are not alone. No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, Cal Hope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers had a rough time in Utah last night. They gave up 131 points to one of the bottom teams in the Western Conference. Utah rolled to a 131-119 victory and snapped the Lakers' 6-game winning streak. Luka Doncic, playing in his 2nd game with the Lakers, had 16 points and 4 assists. The Lakers appeared to have the All-Star break on their minds. They missed 13 free throws. The Clippers got a strong game from Kawhi Leonard in their 128-114 win over Memphis. 25 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals in a season-high 34 minutes for Kawhi. The game of the year so far in women's college basketball has finally arrived. A lot of eyes around the country will be watching number 1 UCLA take on number 6 USC tonight at the Galen Center. More on the UCLA-USC showdown this afternoon. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This Black History Month, AARP celebrates everyday excellence. The folks who show up, step into their roles, and make a difference in their community and their career. The ones whose stories often go untold, but whose impact is felt in every corner of our society. At AARP, we support everyday excellence with resources for staying competitive in the workforce. Find career resources to support you every day at aarp.org/work.
Fatherhood includes being present during pregnancy, delivery, and beyond, supporting your partner and advocating for your baby's health. Black fathers play a key role in reducing maternal and infant health inequalities. Join the free AIM Fatherhood Program and make a difference. Visit blackinfantsandfamilies.org/fatherhood.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's KBLA Talk 1580's third annual Black History Month luncheon, and you're invited. This is year 2 of our climate justice work, and this year's $2 million 12-month campaign is all about linking and combating the relationship between climate and Black health. We already know that these wildfires will leave in their wake even greater inequities, including negative impacts on Black health, given the toxic air pollutants circulating in the air we breathe. So, as part of this year's climate campaign, we're honoring Black doctors and leaders in healthcare at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Friday, February 28th at noon. If you would like to join us, just go to our KBLA 1580 website and register for your chance to be our guest at the luncheon. We'd love to see you. And in case you haven't heard the news, KBLA Talk 1580 was just named one of the semifinalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. Find a righteous rage, and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Wow, time flies when you're on the radio. We're talking with Kim Ogletree, president of Greenlight Women, and I was not familiar with the story of your other honoree, Regina Jones. What a powerful life story. And you said her film, Who the Hell is Regina Jones, is at the Pan-African Film Festival. So we can see that. But finish what you were telling me about this remarkable woman.
Okay, so Regina Jones was married at 16. She had 5 kids by the time she was 19.
What? Wow.
19 with 5 kids. Her husband and her both created Soul newspaper.
The magazine. Yeah.
I want to say magazine, but it is a newspaper. Back then it was a newspaper.
Okay.
And as he was developing as a street reporter, he was called in by a major network to cover the Watts riots. So once he became the reporter on the ground for the riots, which they didn't have any African Americans to send back then, and they tapped into him, he was recognized even more after that. So he was given an anchor seat, and he went on to be who he became as Regina was left with Soul newspaper.
Wow. And she made it happen.
Alone.
She made it
happen.
She
pushed and pushed and pushed.
Wow.
And didn't take no for an answer. When the labels were not giving her time with various talent to take photographs and write stories and all that jazz, one artist came into a room, Donna Summers,
I love
and
Donna
said,
Summer.
all of you are African American, you must really be serious. They told me I only had 20 minutes, but I'm going to give you exactly what you need. And she stayed 2 hours.
Wow.
And that cover resonated throughout the United States.
I love that story so much.
We love Donna Summers.
Yeah. So as a result of Donna Summer really vibing with this Black publication and realizing what they were trying to do, the buzz got going, and Soul became a staple for the community. And she kept that going. So she's being honored at this brunch.
As a trailblazer.
We can go see the movie about her at PAF. But let's get back to how we can go to this brunch. It's coming up. It's the 23rd. We all need something to do besides obsessing on politics.
This is true.
right
and
now.
this is the event to come to.
Okay.
It is not a long event. It's like a 4-hour event. It starts at 11 to 2 on February 23rd at the London Hotel. We have 3 or 4 sponsors right now. The first being the law offices of Sauda Johnson, PC.
Okay.
We also have M. Ocean. And I just on the way here got off the phone with Le Cool Champagne, Robert Cool from Cool and the Gang.
Nice.
So they're coming on as a sponsor as well and providing the champagne for the actual event. So with red carpet starts from 11 to 12. And, I do need to mention that there will be a conversation between Jayne and Regina. We shaped the event around faces that grace the covers of Soul. And Jayne was one of them.
Oh, how nice is that?
So that conversation, Jayne hasn't seen Regina in about 30 years. She's very excited to speak to her. They have talked offline, but at the event, they haven't seen each other for 34 years. So that'll be interesting. And now we have Chaz Ebert, the wife of Siskel Ebert, who will be moderating the panel.
Okay, so
it's not a panel. It's more like a conversation.
Like a fireside chat kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of sort of like that. And we do have Jay Boykin. He's coming in as well. He's a saxophonist to get us in the mood for the actual conversation.
So we got champagne, saxophone, fireside chat / moderated, intimate conversation between a couple of iconic people.
Correct.
With an iconic moderator.
Right.
And all of this is in support of a really important cause, which is women over 40 in Hollywood. It's so crazy to me that we need to have a cause for that, because to me, if you want to really get something done, you ask a mama or an auntie, right? That's what you do.
That's what you do.
That's what everybody does, including, Miss Jones's husband.
Right.
Well, she wasn't an auntie then. She was just a little young mama. But still, you ask a busy person, which is usually mamas and aunties, and we go and get it done. Besides the fact that we already have 1 or 2 jobs, our own kids, our own schedule. Well, okay, we'll make it happen, baby. And that's what we do.
Right. That's what we do. And, it's interesting that you say that, because our mothers play such a pivotal role in our development.
Yeah.
Like, they say in your formative years, by the time you're 8, you know who you are. Do you really?
Do you though? I think not.
But with that parent pushing you and building that character inside of you, and you developing the morals and the norms as you grow, you carry that with you. So as you grow and you have children, you're able to pass that along, right? And one thing I can say about Greenlight Women, we do pay it forward. We pay it forward with all of our members. We are engaging them. We have various programs from, like I mentioned before, connections. We still have DEI inside of our organization. We have a check-in chat, okay, that you can actually chime into on a Wednesday and share what you're doing with other members. And maybe other members can help you move your project along or something of that nature. We have so many. You would have to go to the website to actually see, which is www.greenlightwomen.org. That's greenlightwomen.org, to actually see everything that we're doing. We give away grants. We've given a grant away to Melissa Hazlett for Mr. Soul a few years ago. We have done so much in the community that I'm so proud of the organization.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to go back to is the event. This event is also being done for the wildfire victims. So there is the amount of the ticket, and a portion of those proceeds for the tickets will go to the victims of Altadena, Pasadena, and the Palisades. So it's important, and I'm just reaching out to the community now, join the cause to help these areas. They've been decimated. These people they have nothing. And we're inviting several of them to the event just to give them an opportunity for a bit of normalcy. Just to say, oh, this is what it was like when I had.
Yeah.
And be appreciated and honored. And we have a orator, motivational speaker, educator, Starla Lewis, who will introduce the retrospective to Altadena that Zatella Beatty, who is a famous documentarian that did the Iverson documentary on Netflix. She's doing the retrospective for Altadena.
You're going to have me watching movies all weekend.
I just want to say that, you know, we're trying to bring a presence to this actual event unlike any other. It's normally, okay, we give awards away, but this year, based on the wildfires, we felt that it was our duty to create something behind the event to elevate these victims. Come in, enjoy yourself, have champagne, have a nice meal, relax for a minute, be honored yourselves for a minute, and appreciate life is this is what life is. And we have to look back and say to ourselves how blessed we were that we weren't affected.
Yeah. Or if you were
right.
You were to a lesser degree. So this is the 23rd. It's coming up. It's right around the corner. How do we get tickets and all of that?
Okay. If you want a ticket, you have to go to www.greenlightwomen.org, hit the donate button, and that will take you to the actual page where you can purchase a ticket, donate money. We're taking donations for these victims as well. We actually may have a sponsor coming in that will match our funds to give to these areas.
Oh, nice. So
we're very excited about how it's all starting to process in such a short period of time, because we were stifled for a minute because it was like the fires, and then after the fires,
like, what do we do?
It was like, now what do we do? Are the sponsors still going to be a part of it? You know, are we going to be able to get the guests? Were they affected? You know, but we're so excited that we're able to pull it all together.
Pick up tickets at greenlightwomen.org. Click donate, and it'll take you to the spot to buy tickets, or just donate if you're not coming. But this is right. What a great celebration for Black History Month, right? Coming up on February 23rd. It's the Greenlight Women Gala Lunch honoring Jayne Kennedy and Regina Jones. And we'll continue our conversation on all things Greenlight Women, women working in Hollywood over 40, when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Greenlight Women. It's an organization, if you didn't know, the mission of Greenlight Women is to support and champion women over 40 in entertainment and media and to advocate for a collaborative, diverse, inclusive, equitable, and sustainable industry. You're not going to change your mission statement, President Kim Ogletree, now that mission statement is practically illegal?
Well, we're modifying it.
Really?
Yes, we will be modifying it. We're actually talking about that.
We're saying it'll now say a hub for young white men. A white man under 25 who have lots of money.
Well, I'm going to skirt around that.
Okay, skirt away.
But,
that's your job to skirt, not mine. Mine is to talk smack. That's what I do for a living, and God has blessed me to be doing it all these years.
Yes, He has.
I'm happy to be supporting, representing the smack talkers of Tavis Smiley's KBLA Talk 1580. However, you actually have quite an impressive board of directors. Obviously, there's you.
Yes.
The names I know, Julie Dash, one of our most celebrated Black women directors.
Yes.
It is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. And also Nima Barnett is another name I know. These are Black women directors, and they are on your board of directors. But tell me about some of these other folks who I probably should know.
Well, I'll first start with our executive board, and my vice president is Lucy Webb. Lucy Webb is a producer and a writer as well, and she used to be on Not Necessarily the News years ago.
Okay.
So she's a comedian and a wonderful ally as a vice president in the organization. Then we have Ramel Foster Owens, who is also a director in the industry and has been directing for a very long time, very instrumental inside of the PSA program with Women in Film years ago. And now we have Gladys Dennis Mixon, who comes from the studio environment as far as a CPA, and she happens to be our treasurer. She has
also
many high-profile clients.
It happens to be tough. I mean, there's no way you're a woman in the studio environment, especially a Black woman, and thriving,
right,
without being
exactly
kind of tough.
Yeah, you have to have that ability to let things roll off your back.
Yeah, and get stuff done.
And get it done. And we also, as far as our board is concerned, we have a variety, a very diverse board. We have Bobby Banks, who's a post-production supervising sound editor. Hillary Bibakoff, very, very, very well-known transactional attorney in Los Angeles. Her contact list is incredible as well. And you just spoke about Julie, who's revered, as well as Nima Barnett, who's revered. We have Hollis Davis, who comes out of Universal and was a part of all of the events that happened inside of that studio. Michelle Dennehy is out of Napa. She's up in
Northern California.
And actually, they're in the Silicon Valley area.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a data strategist officer. So she's really inside of that whole technology world, that tech world, as far as managing the security of our systems. Deidre Dix has her own company, Edge of a Dream, which is a marketing and promotions company.
And these are powerhouse women.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, we have Rawa, Jibri Ab, she's compliance for Lionsgate. Charlotte Hambrick, that I mentioned earlier, was at Entertainment Tonight for 40 years. Betsy Pollock was a dean at AFI for many years. Marsha Ross was at Sony as a casting director for the various movies, Traveling Pants and American Girl, those type of films. Dana Sims just left CAA as a agent. She's very instrumental in getting a lot of the rappers on television, okay, and in movies such as Ludacris and other talent that she represents, Lawrence Fishburne, a bunch of people. But now she's doing a fund out of South Africa to raise money for productions.
Oh, nice.
So that's what she's putting together. And Barbara Weintraub is, her dad was Mr. Weintraub, the director. So she comes from that world. Entertainment, TV, movie time, very, very, very much involved in the connections.
I mean, and you have women from all different aspects of the industry, above the line, below the line, but also different ethnicities and many generations are represented on this board as well.
That was very important, that we're able to cater the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, the 60-year-olds, the 70 and the 80-year-olds. As I mentioned, 80-year-olds, Marion Rosenberg, who actually brought BAFTA to the U.S.,
which is the British Film Academy.
Exactly, thank you. And she, along with Ivy Kagan-Bierman, who is a partner at Loeb & Loeb, founded the organization together.
Okay.
And as their tenure waned, they brought in Iris Grossman, who is at Echo Lake now, a partner at Echo Lake, out of ICM. She started ICM with the Paradigm. Now she's at Echo Lake as a partner. So you can see at the age of, I won't even say at the age of, I'll say women of a certain age.
Women over
can
40.
Can still make partner.
Yeah, right,
can
right.
Can still make partner
right,
in these firms.
Right.
So it's not that far.
Here's the thing that, back to me talking smack and you being diplomatic because that's your job as the president of Greenlight Women.
Right.
But, I mean, the fact that when you look at the consumer base now, right, with the boomer generation retiring in droves every single day and the buying power of women over 40, boomers and Gen Xers, it seems like this shouldn't even be an advocacy. It seems like it should be just a marketing line item where you're like, oh, women 40 plus have this incredible buying power, decision-making power within households, and the teenager may be the one with that, income, disposable income that's being given to them by their mama over 40, who in many cases has the decision-making power about, no, we ain't going to go see that movie. We're going to go see this movie because guess who's driving and actually paying for the tickets?
Right.
But why is that not common sense? It reminds me of like Latino market. I never understand that. Why does Hollywood underserve the Latino market when you look at the sheer numbers of consumers?
Well, this is how I see it. The Latino market is their own market. They recycle their dollars inside of their community and they move their product inside of their community.
True. But if Hollywood did more stuff that catered to them, they'd go to the Hollywood stuff. Just like, we are starting
that's true.
Are starting to see some stuff targeting women over 40. I think they kind of go like from 40 to 100 and forget all the space in between. But in any case, just by sheer demographics, you would think that the industry would cater more to women over 40, is my point.
You would think that they would.
Yeah.
Because the aging out thing is a joke to me. Okay? You've reached that pinnacle, so...
Right, it's the Kevin Samuels...
You're not relevant anymore.
Right, it's the Kevin Samuels thing. You're a leftover woman if you're over 35 and you're not married.
Right, exactly.
But that means that you're determining my value based only on my attractiveness to you.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than my job skills, my ability to get ratings, my ability to deliver the bottom line, et cetera, et cetera.
I agree. I think that we do have the buying power. We are the ones that are sustaining the families, even the families.
Yeah.
Okay. The mothers, the single parents, they're sustaining the market.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to families with two parents and all that. I don't think anybody's downplaying you, but it just doesn't make any sense to me that this is this huge demographic and you're just going to pretend that we're all, washed up and no longer of use.
No,
only
I
useful
agree.
for babysitting kids, in the words of the current vice president. But anyway, we're just about up against the clock here. Hopefully you'll come back. This has been a delightful conversation. I want to remind folks the Greenlight Women's Charity Luncheon, helping the wildfire victims and uplifting this incredible organization, is coming up on the 23rd of February, and you still can get tickets.
Yes, you can. And we invite new members every day. So go to the website, greenlightwomen.org, and see what we offer.
Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for coming in today. Do you have a slogan, a philosophy, a thing that inspires you? Because I know you just the tiny bit of your story that you've told, you've overcome a lot of no's and closed doors.
Yes, and it's all about staying ahead of the curve. I've never been a person to walk the walk. I've created my own path and believed in myself enough to say, I can do that too.
I love that. Well, Kim Ogletree, it's a pleasure to meet you and really fun talking with you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Tavis Smiley is up next. He's got a jam-packed show for you like he always does. Please believe it. And I am looking forward to hearing it as well as you. Don't forget, if you missed this conversation with Kim Ogletree or any of our conversations, they're available for free wherever you get your podcasts. You could also find them on YouTube at the KBLA 1580 YouTube channel. All of our pods live there. And I usually end with a quote. Today I'm going with Kim Ogletree. She said, I can do that too. I love that. Make our own path. Let's do it. That's what we are doing. Like my mother, the great poet Jayne DiPrima, used to say, history is now, and we are making it together. I'm Dominique DiPrima. Let's keep the conversation going. A lot of smack talking going on my Instagram at DiPrima Radio. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Department of Justice criticized President Trump for ruining her designer shoe at the big game and called for her deported uncle's return. She blamed Secret Service for the inconvenience and showed her damaged